Hello my little ghosts, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are just as excited as I am for the spooky season, and I'm here to help you get completely immersed with more ritual pastas, so make sure you subscribe and turn on all notifications to stay updated. Leave a like and a comment if you'd like to hear more creepy content, and thank you in advance for supporting my work. Now, let's hear tonight's story. The Legend of the Vampire. A classic, isn't it? This mischievous character has always fascinated us, luring us in by just having his tale told. But this ever-growing fascination kept picking at the vampire's most desirable attributes. Immortality, incomparable strength, and captivating mystery are all that's left as we think about it. I'm here to tell you their history and their true nature is so much more macabre than you could ever imagine. Originally, vampires were known under the name Moroi or Strigoi. One can either be born as a Strigoi or subsequently become one after death. As a practitioner of the dark arts, one could also make a Faustian bargain to become a Strigoi. In Slavic cultures, it is believed that if a pregnant woman steps out at night with her head uncovered, the devil will put a red hat on her head, a metaphorical mark of the evil one. As such, the baby will be born as a Strigoi. It is believed that if the baby is born with a red hat, most probably meaning the crown of the head is covered by the placenta, he is prone to become a Strigoi. In this case, the baby should be immediately washed and bathed in holy water. If, however, the baby is born with a mark the shape of a hat, he has already been claimed by the evil one and made into a Strigoi. If a village is suffering from droughts, it is believed that it's inhabited by a Strigoi. They repel the rain that is so vital for the proper growth of crops. They also make the villagers and the cattle sick, steal the vitality of the crops, and bring death among people. If it's hailing, a popular belief is that God is punishing the Strigoi for disturbing the natural cycles and preventing rain from falling down. And if the sun is still shining while it rains, it is believed that a female Strigoi is getting married. There are several ways a person can become a Strigoi after death. For example, if one has lived a life of sin and committed countless atrocities, they are likely going to return from the dead. Likewise, if someone dies unbaptized, they will return as a strigoi. A popular practice still in use in Slavic cultures is to watch the dead before it's buried. The purpose of this is to make sure no cats, dogs, rats, or birds pass over the dead body. If this happens, the deceased will return to haunt the family. Another haunting practice is related to the sudden passing of a person. Suicide, murder, or accidents could also lead to one turning into a moroi. If the deceased happened to be young and not married, especially if it's a male, the folk would pick from one of the young women in town, old enough to get married, and perform a wedding ceremony between the two right before burying the deceased. This was meant to appease the spirit and prevent it from coming back as a revenant. As for the young woman, she was forced to live alone in a small wooden hut, isolated from the village, with no electricity or distractions, for a total of 40 days. This is known as the mourning period and was a vital part of the process. During these 40 days, a woman would bring her food and water and leave it outside the door. The young woman was not allowed to see or talk to anyone and could only open the door to get her meal at night. There have been recounts of these girls being visited by their strigoi husbands at night, and they were to ignore the calls and never reply, trying as much as possible to not acknowledge the presence of the strigoi. While inside the wooden hut, they would generally be safe from any harm, as long as they kept in prayer and not give in to curiosity. The moroi never touch onion and garlic. They stay away from myrrh and incense and sleep outside towards the 30th of November, a celebration day of Saint Andrew, when it is believed all strigoi come out to play and bring misfortune. To kill a strigoi, several practices have been accepted throughout history. Piercing their heart with a wooden stake is the most popular of all. The wood, however, should come from either an oak, yew, or ash tree. Another recurring practice is to bury them upside down if one is believed to probably return from the dead. Other practices include chopping the body to pieces, severing the head from the body and burning it, nailing the body to the coffin, and breaking the legs of the deceased so it cannot rise. At least 2 shocking recent cases of a strigoi returning to haunt the families have been recorded in Romania in 2002 and 2003. In an attempt to set themselves free from the wrath of the Moroi. The families have dug up the bodies, cut the hearts out of the deceased, burned them, and drank the ashes with water. These cases have shocked the community, and it comes to show that the legend of the Strigoi is still to this day very much alive. What if I told you there is a way to become the master of an entity from the other side? I do not recommend trying this with demons, angels, or deities, for they will always ask for something in return. This is only meant to be tried with spirits of the deceased. To proceed, you will need a pendulum, a consecrated burial ground, some Palo Santo wood for fumigation. If you cannot find that, incense is an acceptable second option. A glass bottle, a black candle, black salt. You can make it yourself by mixing regular salt with incense ashes. Once you have all the ingredients for this occult soup, head to your consecrated burial ground of choice. Do not attempt this with unconsecrated burial grounds, native burial grounds, or places where tragedies have occurred. Do not attempt this with places where serial killers of any kind are buried. And do not attempt this in any haunted locations or places where invocation rituals have been performed under any circumstances. When you arrive at your chosen location, pull out a candle and pendulum. Light up the candle and recite the following while letting the pendulum swing. I'm looking for a servant to do my bidding. From all of you who are dormant, I'll pick the one who's willing. I'll pick the one who's faithful and just loyal to me. So come out and be grateful, whomever you may be. I trade with you remembrance, your name never forgotten, and all I ask is temperance from you, good soul unrotten. Unravel, please unravel, the path for me to find you, and bring me please no trouble, and come forth now in my view. The pendulum will show you the way if you follow its motion. You'll know when someone has responded to your call when the pendulum goes stiff. Stop and set your candle down on the grave nearest to you. Say the deceased name 3 times and then recite. As long as I'm still living, your name will be remembered, and you will do my bidding and keep me safe from danger. Once you're done, grab a handful of dirt from their grave and fill half of your glass bottle with it. The other half you will fill with black salt. This is for protection purposes, so that you can be sure that the ghost will never go against you. Your candle will start to flicker once the bottle is filled with both the dirt and the salt. The spirit wants you to seal the deal. To do that, you will have to swallow about a tablespoon of dirt from its grave. It might not sound too appealing, but just do it, and rest assured that nothing will happen to you. This is the equivalent of a blood oath. You swear to keep the ghost's memory alive by chanting their name daily for the rest of your life, while in return, it promises to keep you away from any harm, be it people who do not have your highest good in mind, disease, or sudden death. When you're done, seal the bottle with wax from the black candle and cleanse it with the smoke of your incense or Palo Santo wood to ensure no magic can break the bond. Congratulations! You now have your own guardian ghost. To summon it, give the bottle a shake every time you need assistance with a certain situation, and it will do its best to guide you towards your highest good. To fulfill your part of the deal, remember to always keep a lit candle in your house. Every time you light it up, chant the name of the deceased 3 times. Never allow the candle to go out. Never put it out yourself either. If the candle is about to die, quickly light up another one and chant their name before putting the old one out. Never forget to chant the name of the person, and never put out the candle at night. Normally, no harm should come from it being left unsupervised. If the candle does not stay lit, even though nothing is disturbing it, you are in trouble. If the candle does not light up at all, you are in trouble. Needless to say, if the candle starts a fire in your house, you are in trouble. Be very careful and mindful of this. You do not want to break a bond with a ghost. If the ghost sees that you are not keeping to your part of the deal, the oath will break and backfire, turning into a curse. The ghost is free to punish you however it sees fit. Anything is on the table if this happens, and no magic will be able to keep you safe. Repeating the ritual will not work either. Another ghost will not protect you from your original spirit, for you are marked, and it will recognize your unfaithfulness and ignore your offer. I'm begging you to not play dishonest with the spirit realm. The implications of this are far greater than you could ever imagine, extending even beyond your mortal existence. Winter solstices are a celebration of renewal, of gratitude and integration, of acceptance and growth. But not so many talk about the hidden powers that this day holds and how it relates with the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. What they don't tell you is that the winter solstice is a propitious date to revive the ones who have passed and open a passage for their soul to restart their journey through life. I'm sure you all have someone you once held dear that has been stolen from you a little too early. Someone who could have brought you so much more joy and possibly taught you so much that you don't know. Do you have that someone in mind right now? Good. Then let's call them back to you, shall we? Don't worry, I'm going to be guiding you every step of the way. I will be here if anything goes wrong, but quite frankly, if you take all the precautions I will tell you about, nothing should happen to you as we go through the reviving process. Let's start by writing your person's full name on a bay leaf. We are going to place it under your pillow exactly when the sun sets. But before you do that, we are going to set in place 3 protection mechanisms. For the first one, you will need to dig a ditch around your house and fill it up with water. It can be as big as you want, but it has to be at least 2 feet wide, and it needs to surround your house fully. The second protection is going to be an uninterrupted circle of salt. The thicker, the better. And if you want to buy yourself some extra time, I suggest you also take some extra precaution. This consists of killing and burning some sort of animal and mixing the ashes with the salt. The animal of choice can be as small as a rat or as big as a horse. However, more ash does not necessarily bring a higher level of protection. Make sure you offer gratitude for the sacrificed beast and say a prayer in thanking them for the help offered. The third and last protective word I give you consists of either poppy seeds or rice, but this will come in handy later on in the ritual. As soon as the sun sets, place the bay leaf under your pillow, turn off all the lights, lock all windows and all doors except for the front door. Take your poppy seeds and your rice and go straight to bed. You will fall asleep as soon as your head touches the pillow, fortunately, so no need to worry about anxiety or insomnia. You will wake up a while later outside of your house, lying flat on the ground at the front door. In the distance, You will be able to spot a dark silhouette advancing towards you slowly. As soon as you see it, get up and get inside the house. Lock the door at this point, start praying and keep an eye on the figure. The idea is that for the ritual to be successful, the creature should not be able to make it inside your house until sunrise. However, given that the winter solstice celebrates the longest night in the year, this will not be an easy task. The creature is going to try their best to cross your protection wards. There is no telling how strong they may be, as every time this ritual is undergone, there is a different creature trying to sabotage the summoner. The 3 wards are supposed to keep them busy long enough for you to peacefully pass the night without any sort of trouble. However, if they do manage to cross the ditch and the circle of salt, your last chance are the poppy seeds or the rice. This is why you are advised to keep an eye on the beast. However, do your best to avoid eye contact. If they see you looking at them, they will become even more ravenous and motivated to finish the task, and you will be in very real danger. In the unfortunate event that the creature manages to step over all the traps and is now standing right outside your door, the only thing left to do is throw the poppy seeds or rice out the door and hope that it will keep them occupied until sunrise. These creatures are known to have a calling to gather these grains one by one, and they will not get back to their original task until they manage to get every last grain thrown at them. So sit quietly and pray that you will not hear any knock at your door before the sun is up. In case you do, however, ignore the knock. Do not acknowledge it. Do not make a single sound. Hide in a room with a window facing east and pray that if it gets in, it will not find you before sunrise. If it manages to get inside your house while it is still dark outside, you will not pass the ritual. The thing will eventually disappear back into the shadow side if you're lucky, but your loved one will not be able to return. The ritual will not work if you attempt it ever again. If, however, you are successful in passing the night unharmed and without having the intruder break into your house, you will hear a knock at the door. Do not answer it. Do not acknowledge it. If a second knock follows, you may answer. You should hear the voice of your loved one, who has now returned from the dead, mostly in good health, and with years of life ahead of them. How long they have to live from then on depends on how many protective words your creature was able to break. If it passes none, your loved one will receive an extra 40 years of life. They will get 30 if the monster manages to pass the first trap, 20 if it crosses the circle of salt, And 10 if the sun was up while the creature was gathering the seeds or just ready to knock at the door. That being said, good luck and stay safe. I have 3 days to live, tops. But I couldn't picture another way I'd rather pass away. For you see, I've done something absolutely terrible, and I deserve my fate. For me, it ends here. For them, it's only just begun. But let me start with the beginning. You can call me egoistic, as by all means, I was a piece of shit for choosing this path just to cure my loneliness. She has diamonds in her hair and rubies on her cheeks. She holds a silver scepter and a heavy sword in her hands. She is dressed in liquid gold and steps on burning coal heels. But all these riches mean nothing when all she's ever wanted was a beating heart to call her own. The Dark Empress is what they call her. Some also known her as the Siren of the Shadow Side. I woke her up from her deep, centuries-long slumber, and I promised to never leave her side. In all actuality, I didn't, and I wouldn't. But what I forgot to mention to her was that I am but a mere mortal. And when she found out, it destroyed her. It simply crushed her heart to know that I lied. That one day I would leave her for that sweet embrace. She could not take it and would not go back to the radiant, sweet like nectar goddess that she was when I resurrected her. I felt so helpless, so guilty. I've tried everything to make her feel better. She just wouldn't listen, wouldn't take me back. I wanted to die. I wanted to end it altogether. Anything but to be alone again. Especially knowing that I've hurt her with my mortality. But lately, something's changed. I can feel myself withering, wasting away. And I think it's her. I have not been able to walk in over a week. It all happened so fast. I know my body is going into collapse. I can barely hold my phone as I record this. I'm feeling sleepy. And I know one of these days I'm not going to wake up again. She's taking my life away. Her sorrow is draining me of life. And I know I said I wanted to die, but I feel like I've had it easy, you know? Even now, she's still making my wishes come true. Any wish, apart from the only one I truly care for, being with her. So I'm being offered the second best, with death. And yet somehow I know this is not the end. It's not death I see when I close my eyes. It's her. And one thing I know for sure, I won't be going to heaven. I won't be going to hell either. Not the conventional one, at least. I feel it deep down. I feel it and I know it. She'll take me in. She's arranged my own personal hell. But if it's not happily ever after with her, I'm definitely content with eternal damnation by her hands.